Hello and welcome to Giant Mess, a sad, fat, balding, overweight, lazy, depressed, anxious sports and entertainment talk show that covers Giants football, Mets baseball, movies, TV shows, and it's got some funny stories and life lessons mixed in for good measure. It's hosted by Giant Mess. That's me, the real cinch, Neal Lynch. I'm a former college quarterback and pitcher. I say that as if I started. I was like 7th on the depth chart on my college football team. Saw maybe 2 drives of action, never threw a pass. And I was a middle relief pitcher on the baseball team. But now I'm just wandering, meandering around the world. A friggin' nomad. Lost, listless, purposeless, completely flabbergasted and amazed at how much a single team or 2 teams can have such an impact on my mental health that it truly can not just ruin my day, but it can ruin my week, my month, my year, my marriage, my relationships, my work life. That's where we're at right now. Can you guess what's on today's episode? I think you can. We're going to talk about the New York Football Giants. Their season opener at home at the beautiful MetLife Stadium in beautiful East Rutherford, New Jersey. How did it go? Well, they lost. Oh, that's unfortunate. 0-1 to start the season. Oh, man. But it wasn't just any loss. One of the worst losses ever. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I know fans tend to exaggerate. I know fans tend to overreact in these kind of situations. I think everything I'm about to say is completely 1000% justified. So without further ado, let's get it started. I did not watch all 60 minutes of game time for this contest. I had my daughter this weekend. I have 50-50 custody. I'm divorced. Life is great. Trying to put her down is like trying to wrestle a Bengal tiger to the ground into submission. Like have the Bengal tiger actually tap out with its little paw. That's what it's like. Putting my daughter down to bed. She just turned 5. I moved mountains for her this weekend. I did everything that I could to be a good dad, and I'm still not a good dad. So trying to put her to bed. And there's thunder. 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 Honestly, the thunder got me very excited for the Giants home opener. Season opener against those hated Dallas Cowboys. Those detested division rivals. The thunder got me excited, got me pumped. It scared the bejesus out of my daughter. So she was full on meltdown mode, wanted to sleep in my bed, refused to take no for an answer. And I basically just let her cry it out. I'm like, I know that 21st century parents, new age parents, progressive parents would try to navigate her through those murky nope. I was like, I'm gonna let you tire you out is my strategy. Because of everything that I've done for you this weekend, I think I'm just gonna I'm gonna ride the wave on this one. I'm just gonna ride it out. So eventually, I basically said, thunder, you're scared of the thunder. I get it. Has thunder ever hurt you? Personally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually? No. Okay. Thunder can't hurt you. You're inside. And I know this luxury apartment is falling apart. But the thunder, as much as I want it to, the thunder can't get inside and hurt us. I don't want the thunder to hurt us. Come on now. It's just a sound. It's noise. That's all it is. Much like all the preseason hype for the Giants. It's just noise. It's just a lot of sound and fury signifying nothing. So the thunder can't hurt you. The thunder is just noise or sound. You are inside. You are safe. I promise it won't hurt you. I promise it won't hurt you. And it comes and it goes. It's not going to be here forever. This is a temporary situation. As much as my parents told me this is temporary, it feels pretty permanent, but it's temporary. It's temporary. So it took me a while to get her down. It took me past kickoff to get her down, which I fully expected. And so I prepared, because that's what a good dad, a good football fan does. Prepare, right? Think ahead, strategize. So I went on Hulu, which is the worst. Hulu plus live sports. Hulu plus live sports. Hulu plus live sports. Fuck you, Hulu. Tried to record it. And in my haste, I think I recorded the Telemundo broadcast. Telemundo. Spanish language only broadcast. So I got her down. I actually managed to get her down. And I said to her, you come into my room. I'm escorting you. I'm turning you around 180 and I'm escorting you back to your bed. You are not sleeping in my bed tonight. You've already slept in my bed this week. That's it for you. That's it. End of story. So you can come in here all you want, all the live long day, all night long. I'm gonna take your hand and I'm gonna gently place you back into your own bed. So yeah, got her down. Eventually she did tucker herself out. No more tears, no more screams. She was running on empty, and lo and behold, she actually stayed in her bed the whole night, slept the whole night. And I was late to the game. And so I decided I'll try and rewind live TV and realize, oh, Hulu doesn't allow that. YouTube TV allowed that. And I would have YouTube TV if they hadn't dropped SNY. Love streamers. Love them. Time to go back to cable? Possibly. So I finally get to the recording. I find the recording and I press play. And it says error. And it gives me all kinds of bullshit, error code, this and that. And I'm just like, of course, Hulu. Of course you would do that to me. And then I saw I was recording the Telemundo one, and I could rewind the Telemundo broadcast. And I was like, I guess I could. I took 8 years of Spanish. I should be able to understand this shit, right? No bueno. So I had to watch, I guess it was the Giants' first drive. I don't know I guess the Cowboys kicked off the Giants. There was probably a little less than 12 minutes remaining. Maybe it was 11 or 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Giants had the ball, and apparently the Giants were driving. I just saw DJ take off and pick up a first down, I believe. I saw Saquon run for positive yardage, and I was like, all right, we're on the move. And we drove down to the 8, and I was like, this is what we're talking about. And Chris Collinsworth was saying, the Cowboys run defense, not as highly touted as their pass defense or the pass rush. That's their one weakness on defense. And that's one thing that the Giants did well last year. And they have an improved offensive line. And they're going to be able to run the ball on the Cowboys all the live long day. And life was good. And my season prediction of 10-7, borderline 11-6. I think I eventually went to 11-6. I originally started 10-7 when the schedule was released. And then I said, nay, 11-6 after all this training camp bullshit. By the way, training camps mean nothing. Futile. Stupid. I don't know why we have training camps or why we have preseason. Useless. Benefits no one, especially the fans or the media. So drive down to the 8. And I'm like, man, I had a feeling everyone's talking about how the Giants are going to steal one. We're going to steal one from the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a more talented roster, yes, but we have the better coaches. We have an improved roster. And without our star players last year, in both games, this one had the flu, this one was out. We fought them tooth and nail, and we came close. We gave them a ride for their money. We gave them all that we got. We came within a score. We made it competitive. Play here, play there, maybe we win. So I thought, we can steal one at home. I had this chalked up as a W from the get. A W. At home, a W. Maybe we'll lose to them on the road in Dallas, but at home, opener, coming off a playoff year, upgraded roster, quote unquote. we're going to steal one. And then Andrew Thomas has a false start, which never happens. Literally never happened last year. The broadcast team pointed that out. 0 false starts in 2022. Okay, shoot yourself in the foot. It was 3rd and 2. Now it's 3rd and 7. Shotgun formation, and our rookie center, John Michael Schmitz, who's going to anchor our offensive line for the next 5 to 10 years. Future Pro Bowler, All-Pro, Hall of Famer. Just gets 0 air on his snap. Just like rolls it back. So he tosses the snap away. DJ has to chase it down and cover it. It's a 14-yard loss. Then we bring in Mr. Automatic. Graham Gano. Just came off signing a 3-year contract extension. What could go wrong? I'm going to say this and no one's going to believe me. I knew for a fact, and I probably should have put a bet on it, a massive bet on it. There's no shot that this guy's going to make this kick. 46 yards, 47 yards, whatever. Last year, he makes it no questions asked. No doubt in my mind. But after seeing Andrew Thomas false start, which he never does, after seeing John Michael Schmitz toss a snap away, which almost I don't think it ever happened last year with Feliciano, God bless, I said, there's not any positive juju on this field right now. We have 0 positive mojo going on this field. It would be a modern miracle if he hits this fucking kick. I mean, 3-year contract extension, so you know that he's going to bungle that. False start, fumbled snap. We just completely backtracked. All the momentum is now on Dallas's side. Did I think we'd get a block kick for a touchdown? No, but I was not shocked. I was like, yep, this is, yeah. I fully expected something along those lines. A doink, a double doink, wide right, wide left, a block for a kick for a touchdown. Wasn't seeing that, but yeah, sure, why not? And as everyone and their mother has said, it snowballed from there. An avalanche, got skunked. That's the verbiage, the words of the week. Skunked, snowfall, snowball, avalanche. What was it? So the Cowboys mixed the extra point. Okay, like it's gonna matter. And then DJ throws a Saquon and he gets popped. Ball goes up in the air, and of course it goes straight into the Cowboys' hands, and he returns it for a pick 6. And then I don't know, or there was a field goal in there somewhere. I don't know. I guess the defense made a stand, and there was a Dallas field goal. Who gives a shit? And it was 19-0. CeeDee Lamb gets a huge reception down the left sideline on a bunch. What I don't understand about that play is bunch formation. And this is probably a result of Adoree Jackson making his first ever start as a slot corner and just not realizing what's about to go down. But bunch formation, CeeDee Lamb is the most inside dude. You don't think that they're going to take those 2 outside guys and block down so that he can wheel route wide open? No one saw that coming. No one saw that coming. So hold them to a field goal or whatever. So then was it 6-0? I don't even know how they scored. I guess there was 2 more touchdowns in there. I don't know. So it's 19-0. Second quarter. Jones, as he was all night long, was pressured. Scrambles to his right, rolls out. He's got Micah Parsons hounding him down, and he's about to go out of bounds, and he decides to throw across his body back towards the field, and he throws a pick. Click. That's when I turned it off. And I think one of the tweets, the blocked field goal for a touchdown, I was like, you had to know that was going to happen. You know that was going to happen. And then when DJ throws, and I said, when DJ threw the pick, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to get a good night's rest. Bet get him next year? ? I mean, I've seen too much Giants football. I'm 42, about to be 43 in 2 months. 2 months. I've seen 16 times, close to damn 500 Giants games. Did I do the math right in that? 16 times 30, 480. No, there's more than that. 14 minus 36 times 16. Carry the 1. Yeah, probably like 500 Giants games in my lifetime. I think there's been 2 games that I can remember where we were down big at half and we came back and either won or made it competitive. One was the 86 Monday night game against the 49ers. We were down 21-0. I was 6 years old and I cried myself to sleep because my dad was like, nah, it's over, man. This game's over. You got to go to bed. You're 6. What are you doing? And then I woke up the next day to find out they won. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. This is my team of destiny. Of course, we went on to win a Super Bowl. And that's what hooked me for the rest of my life. Can you believe that? If they didn't win the Super Bowl that year, how my life would be different. Anyway, next one was 92. I think Phil was starting because Hostetler was hurt. So, and we got down so much, I think at half, that the station put on other programming. That's how bad it was. It was like, I think we were down maybe 28-0, something like that at the half, maybe more. And so the station was like, yeah, we're going to go. We're not even going to go to another game. We're just going to go to like a rerun of like, who's the boss? And then we came back and almost won the game. I think we lost by 1 or 2. So I've seen enough to know that I've seen enough, right? Nothing was going right for this team. It'd be one thing if it's like we kept driving the ball and we just turn over on downs and, you know, like the offense is clicking, but we're just making mistakes and shooting ourselves in the foot. That's one thing. Like after that first drive, which I didn't even get to watch the good parts of the first drive. I watched the tail end of the drive. So I didn't see any good Giants football. And so I knew right then, 19-0, Jones just threw a pick in Giants territory. Click. And I said, good night, everyone. Sleep tight. Don't let those fucking bed bugs bite, man. And I said, we'll get him next year. And I said, get him next year. And it was heat of the moment, knee-jerk reaction, because we're going to get into it. Never say never. I get it. And there's always a first time. There's always an exception to the rule. All signs are pointing to this team. Forget about winning the Super Bowl or going to the Super Bowl or even a deep playoff run. They're not even going to come sniff the playoffs this year. I woke up this morning. I got on the train. I opened the Giants app and I see 40-0. Now I thought what's going to happen is the Cowboys will get up big and then the Giants will be playing against second and third stringers and maybe we'll score like a couple touchdowns, maybe a touchdown and a field goal. You'd like, you know, at least put some points on the board. 40-0. So now we've lost 5 in a row to the Cowboys and 12 of our last 13 against them. Dak Prescott and I know on the Wikipedia page it says that John Mara is our owner, but I think Dak Prescott has a majority share. I think because we cannot beat that guy. We fell to 51-43-5 on opening day, 51-45-3 in home openers. Burn down MetLife, please. Burn it down to the ground and piss on the ashes because we're 4-10 in home openers in MetLife. That stadium blows. I legitimately loathe that stadium. We've never seen it. We've seen one playoff win there, right, against the Falcons. We've not. Other than that, I don't think we've ever hosted another playoff game there. Yeah, let's just hit the reset button on the stadium. That's the problem. It's the stadium. We're now 1-10 against Dallas in season openers. Again, we lost to the Cowboys in 86 in the season opener, but it was, 34-28? A little bit closer. We're 0-3 at home and 0-2 in MetLife. Please, God, no more season openers against the Cowboys. Please. We're 23-32-1 on Sunday night, which we all know that. We suck on primetime. We just stink. 11-14 at home, 6-9 versus Dallas in prime time. So everything was working against us in the first place, but you just felt like it was just different this year. After what happened last year, we have the coach of the year. What could go wrong? And this was our worst loss since 1973. So, when we're calling timeouts, because there's 10 in the first quarter, when we go burn through 2 timeouts in the first quarter, one on offense, one on defense because of personnel issues, that's rough. That doesn't give you a lot of confidence. Saw this tweet from The Athletic. No team has ever lost 40-0 or worse. Lost the sack battle 7-0 or worse. Lost the turnover battle 3-0 or worse. Had a blocked field goal return for a touchdown and threw a pick 6 in the same season. 16 game, 17 game, 14 game season, however far back you want to go. All those things have never happened to a team in one season. That happened to the Giants all in one game. Now, for everyone like me who thinks the season is over, there's some positive. And hey, I'm not 100% out on the season. Come on now. Like 99% out on the season. There's 1% of me that's like, stranger things have happened. And why not us? That kind of thing. Sure. There's 1% of me. There's a little tiny sliver that thinks that maybe I'm not going to rule it out. That would be foolish to rule it out. A lot of people saying it's just one game. It's just week 1. Week 1s are crazy. They're silly. They're wacky. They're pointing to the Bengals and Joe Burrow losing to the Browns. Burrow had something like less than 100 yards passing. Pulled from the game. They got demolished 24-3, something like that. The Bengals went to the AFC Championship last year. Typically beat the Chiefs, who are usually the best team in the AFC, if not the NFL, every year. The Chiefs lost to the Lions week 1. Bad things happen. Not as bad as this. This was really bad. So bad. So historically bad. There was a tweet from, Ryan Dizier maybe, saying the Super Bowl champion Chiefs lost to the Colts last year, one of the worst teams in the league. Yeah, it was close, though. They didn't get blown out. And I know, I think a lot of people point to the Vikings-Colts game last year, where the Vikings went down 20-some-odd points, 30-some-odd points in the first half, came back and won. That was in a dome. It was the Colts. It wasn't in a fucking monsoon against one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the league. 2007 Giants. Oh, we lost. I was at this game against the Packers. We lost 35-13 to Brett Favre in week 2. And I thought, I have to go. My grandfather, God bless his soul, gifted me season tickets for this year. I don't know if I want to go. This is what the product is going to be. So for anyone saying 2007, you're not a Giants fan, or you got to get your head out of your ass. This is far from 2007. Not even close, dude. As someone who got to witness it firsthand in person, no. This season is way, way, way more like 2017. Way more like 2017. And a lot like 1995, which we'll get into a little bit. As I'm watching, I'm thinking, oh, this is a house of cards. The Giants are a house of cards. Darren Waller comes into the game with some kind of hamstring issue. That's not going away. That's going to bother him the rest of the season. And he's not going to be 100%. And he's not going to be the guy that we saw in the preseason game on that one drive against the Panthers. That one drive against the Panthers. Oh my God. What that did for this fan base, and how it was such a mirage, such a friggin' illusion. Yeesh. Graham Gano signing a three-year contract extension. He might miss some time. Andrew Thomas with a hamstring injury. Now he's not gonna be 100%. He's probably gonna miss some time. Not a lot to look forward to. Not a lot to be positive about. Our special teams sucks donkey dick. It is awful. And the fact that the special teams coach still has a job is kind of ridiculous. Whatever. The offense is not going to get any better. There are people saying we'll sign Justin Pugh and Jason or Andrew Peters, who is like 55 years old. Old as me. Might as well put me at right tackle. I'll give it my all. I will get injured first play, no doubt. We don't have an offensive, we literally don't have an offensive line. Andrew Thomas is hurt, and I don't see him bouncing back and being any good this year. Ben Bergerson stinks. John Michael Schmitz maybe is like the one guy that could be all right. Mark Lewinsky stinks. Evan Neal stinks. So you're looking at, you need to replace 3 or 4 guys on your starting offensive line. Like, we'll bring in Justin Pugh. Okay. I guess. It's 2017. It's 2017. We're just, we were a house of cards, and we've toppled already, for sure. The 171 total yards on offense was our lowest total since we gained 155 yards at Chicago on January 2nd, 2022, when the season was completely over, and we had salary cap burglar Mike Glennon taking snaps. Oh man, what a time to be alive. That was we rang in the new year with a fucking bang. 63 net passing yards against the Cowboys was the lowest figure we've had since we finished with -6 in that loss to the Bears 2 seasons ago. -6 net passing yards. Our offensive line allowed 7 sacks. I wish. 7 sacks. I mean, basically, DJ did get humped all night. 7 sacks and 12 QB hits, 20 pressures, 23 hurries. DJ was pressured on 66.7% of his dropbacks, which was the most in the NFL, almost 14% more than any other quarterback. That's for all you math wizards. For every 3 times he went back to pass, 2 times he was getting hit, pressured, hurried, etc. So I don't know how you're supposed to win games like that when you have less than 2 seconds to throw a ball. I guess you could do like a lot of bubble screens, flash screens, slants, things of that nature. Evan Neal was ranked 59th among 60 qualifying tackles in pass block win rate in week 1. He's officially donezo. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form that you can honestly believe in this dude. Again, a lot of people think in year 2 he's going to make the same step up, forward, improve like Andrew Thomas did in 2021. He's not. So I don't know what and this kind of dovetails into the next subject that we'll get into that is also very alarming. But you just got to say, hey, we tried, but we whiffed. We thought we had the guy, and we don't. So we have to go back to the drawing board. We have to find your replacement. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your effort, but you are not the guy. And maybe you move him into right guard. And maybe he becomes, everyone's saying he's Eric Flowers 2.0 now. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. He's a bust. He's a top 10 pick on an offensive lineman that couldn't last. I mean, he's no shot he lasts 2 seasons at the right tackle position. Everyone was lauding him and praising him for looking good in training camp against the likes of Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari. We'll get to them in a little bit. Andrew Thomas, hamstring injury that's going to plague him for the rest of the year. I guarantee he misses time. He has also stated repeatedly that his ankle is never going to be 100%. It's never going to heal. And we just gave him a contract extension, money well spent. Matt Parrott, his backup, gets an elbow injury with Josh Azudu playing right tackle. Glowinski you can't play Glowinski anymore. You can't play Bergerson anymore, but you need to play someone. So I guess Justin Pugh. Maybe he plays left guard. Evan Neal right guard. And then who do you have at right tackle? Who do you have at left tackle? It's just like we don't have anyone. And like to think that we're going to magically find these guys on the street or trade for someone without giving up the fucking farm is, everyone's like, hyping up and giving Joe Schoen his flowers. You have to start to question Joe Schoen and his talent evaluation. You have to, after what's happening, after what's going on. I'm sorry, guys. You have to reset your expectations. It was 10-7. It was looking so good in training camp and preseason that I upped it to 11-6. And now you got to reset your expectations. And I feel like if you reset your expectations as a Giants fan, then you'll be better off mentally, sanity wise. Just say, well, hopefully we can get an upset here or there. Like even the 98 Giants upset the Broncos, right? That's something. So that's the offense. It's like we can have Paris Campbell, we can have Darren Waller. Darren Waller is not going to be effective this year. I mean, the fact that he's already got a hamstring injury is like, that's it. Pretty much it for him. He's not going to have the kind of numbers that he would if he were healthy. That's just a fact. Maybe Saquon can rush for 1,000 yards. That's something to look forward to. I don't know that DJ is going to be able to throw for 3,000 yards, so he's not going to get those incentives in his contract. That kind of sucks. But you can have Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt, Darren Waller, all these targets, weapons. But it's just like we were so focused on getting DJ his weapons and his targets that yet again, we pretty much ignored the offensive line. Yes, we drafted John Michael Schmitz, and yes, maybe he's going to be a good guy, good player, maybe even a great player. You still have 3 guys on that line at the least who suck, who are so bad at their job. And they weren't great last year. And they did, and this management, administration, whatever, front office is crossing their fingers just like the last front office did, and said, well, we're hoping they get better. We're hoping they take that next step. Hope doesn't float, my man. You can't cross your fingers in this fucking league. So it's bonkers that we thought, oh, we'll just get them weapons. And that'll be that. Asinine, dude. And that's why you have to start to question Joe Schoen and his talent evaluation, his scouts team, even the coaching staff. Who's to say that Brian Daboll is not Ben McAdoo 2.0? I honestly think we're going to see a season that is on par with 2017, which was one of the worst seasons in Giants history. And the special teams is going to blow. We know that. The offense is going to be horrendous, like possibly among the league's worst in the NFL. That's for damn sure. So the bright spot is the defense. I do think the defense could be decent, average, maybe even keep us in some games. They'll probably be the lone bright spot on this team. I think your 2 rookie corners look pretty decent, minus the fucking stupid penalties. So I think that's something to be proud of, and hopefully that develops and keeps going. But we came into the season thinking that we had one of the best defensive lines in the league. We do not have one of the best defensive lines in the league. I can fully 100% confidently say that we do not have that. Maybe Dexter Lawrence is it. We have Dexter Lawrence. That's it. Until Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau can show me differently, I've already written off Leonard Williams. I think this is the last year of his contract. Why would you re-sign him? We're not going to re-sign him, so he's gone. Adoree Jackson's probably gone after this year. I don't like. So you're now looking at, and this is going back to Joe Schoen. Your 5th and your 7th pick from 2022 were Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal. And people were like jizzing themselves. Oh my God, we got a starting right tackle. We got a starting pass rusher. We nailed it. Evan Neal is a bust and as a right tackle. Now, if they move in the right guard and he plays well, okay, well then I guess it panned out okay. Like not necessarily a big win, but it's a win. Got to celebrate the wins, no matter how small. And then Kayvon Thibodeau, it's like, dude, show me something. So far, all I've seen from Kayvon, there have been, I want to say there's 3 games from his rookie year that stood out. It was the Washington game, the second Washington game, I guess the Ravens game where he had the game-clinching sack, and against the Colts, who literally were tanking. So the Ravens game and the Commanders game is really what I'm looking at here. You need top 10 picks to play like top 10 picks against top 10 teams. That's the whole point of drafting them that high. The expectations are through the roof. You need them to step up and play better, and they're not. So we don't have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL, especially against a banged up Dallas offensive line that was missing their left guard, and everyone was sounding the feasting horn after they learned that Tyron Smith, the left tackle, was playing through an ankle injury. You know, it's kind of weird that we play against injured offensive linemen and can't do anything against them. Lane Johnson was missing a groin, and we could not get any pressure against him. Tyron Smith has an ankle injury. It's doesn't matter. We couldn't manage a sack. Mustered 3 quarterback hits. Dexter Lawrence had 2 of those quarterback hits and 2 pressures. Kayvon Thibodeau, 0 pressures. Leonard Williams, 0 pressures. Azeez Ojulari, 0 pressures. I mean, the game is won in the trenches. The Giants are not going to, like, you think about the Giants' woes and their struggles over the past, it's now 12 years, 11 or 12 years, maybe more. Our offensive line blows. Our offensive line has never been average or better than average. At least average. Has never been average or at least average. Ever in those 12 years. Even when we went to the Super Bowl and won in 2011, did we just have amnesia about that offensive line? It was like a fucking Swiss cheese. Eli Manning he dropped back 50, 60 times in the NFC Championship game and almost lost his head every single goddamn pass attempt. Eli Manning is the reason we won in 2011. Eli Manning. That's it. 2008 was literally the last time we had a good offensive line. And we went 12-4. We had home field advantage, and we shit the bed against the Eagles in the divisional round. So that's that. Cowboys and Eagles have 2 of the best offensive lines, and I'm going to say 2 of the best defensive lines in the league. They're going to win games. They're going to go to the playoffs. One of them is going to go to the Super Bowl. So for all the fucking Eagles fans jerking off in my comments section of my one YouTube video where I admitted that the Eagles are better, but that I predict downfall due to the salary cap. Don't slip in your own cum. Because I'm admitting full on now that the Giants are not like they're not the team that I thought they were going to be, and we're going to stink, and it's going to end. There's a lot of roster spots that are just huge. Like there were question marks coming in, and they're even bigger question marks now. Where it's like there are a lot of gaps, a lot of holes to fill. Giggity. That's where we're at right now. Again, 1% of me thinks that maybe we do turn around, and maybe we're the first team ever to bounce back from a 40-0 shellacking at home to make the playoffs. I don't think that's ever happened. Got to happen once, right? So the bright spots on defense. Deontay Banks and Trey Hawkins. Banks was targeted twice, didn't allow a catch. Hawkins allowed 1 catch on 1 target. Again, I think each of them had a bad penalty, but otherwise, I think that's you get a thumbs up from me, dog. It was the most one-sided opening day loss in our history, overtaking another home loss to the Cowboys on September 4th, 1985. We lost them 35-0. I was at that game. It was when Phil Simms got his number retired. And that was demoralizing. I think this one was way more demoralizing because I think 94, it was like we got off to a really bad start. It was the first season without Phil Simms as a quarterback. Dave Brown was our starter. We got off to like a 3-7 start, something like that. We won 6 in a row to finish the season. It was like, well, there were some hopes. I don't know how high the hopes were, but it was like, we almost made the playoffs. 9-7. I think we can take the next step and we can at least match that or do better and make the playoffs. And then we just got shit pumped. 35-0. I think the Cowboys went on to win the Super Bowl that year. Pretty sure against the Steelers, right? Emmitt Smith, like giving the peace sign or waving goodbye as he's running down the field for a touchdown. And I had a bird's eye view of this shit. Like it was one of the end zones. I don't know if it was the south or the north, the west, the east end zone, whatever. But it was like, he's just running towards me and waving goodbye to everyone. I was just like, wow. And that 95 season, lest you forget, was the snowball game, where it was like one of the last games in December against the Chargers. And we were getting smoked against the Chargers. We had season tickets that year. We had season tickets. I was a sophomore in high school. We had season tickets, and it was the snowball game. I was there for the snowball game. It was one of the worst seasons, and I got to see it live and in living color, brother. This season, mark my words, on par with 95 in 2017. On par for sure. The 40-point defeat was the Giants' largest in the regular season since November 4th, 1973. We lost to the Raiders in Oakland, 42-0. We had also lost the divisional playoff game in 93. In the 93 season, technically January 94 against the 49ers, 44-3. I'm not ashamed to say I was 13 years old, just turned 13, and I cried because I knew it was the end of an era. It was the last time we were going to see Lawrence Taylor. It was the last time we were going to see Phil Simms. And to get just lambasted in their finale that was hard to stomach. That was hard to take. The Cowboys' 40 points were the most allowed by the Giants in their season opener since a 42-40 win at Green Bay in September 1971. The 26-0 halftime deficit was the largest in a regular season game since January 3rd, 2010, when we trailed Minnesota at the half 31-0. Again, that was the end of the 2009 season when we had pretty much, I think at that point we knew we were eliminated from the playoffs, and it was just like, wow, how did we get off to a 5-0 start and end 8-8? How? So yeah, according to the Elias Sports Bureau, the last time Giants opponents scored 2 non-offensive touchdowns to start a season was 1944. In 2022, week 1, the Bears beat the 49ers. The Steelers beat the Bengals. The Bucks dominated the Cowboys 19-3. Burrow didn't manage 100 passing yards. The Rams beat the Seahawks handedly. So, week 1, blah, blah, blah. This is beyond that. Beyond everyone trying to, I don't know if assuage our fears or soothe us and say, see, it's not so bad. No, it's bad. I've been around long enough to know this is fucking bad. So where does this loss rank? Where does the 40-0 Giants loss to the Dallas Cowboys in a 2023 season opener at home, where does it rank in the lore of Giants franchise history in terms of the worst blowout losses in Giants history? Now, why are you doing this, Neal? Why are you putting us through this? Why torture us? Because why not? I like pleasure spiked with pain. Music is my aeroplane. I guess I'm a sadomasochist, sadist. I don't know. Why not twist the knife? Huh? Worst blowout losses in Giants franchise history. Where does this rank? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th. It's the 8th worst blowout loss in Giants franchise history. Coming in at number 10. Well, I remember this game. I had a couple friends that actually went to this game and had to ride the plane back completely schmammered, wearing beads. This was the Joe Horn cell phone game, I believe, where Joe Horn scored a touchdown and took out an actual cell phone and pretended to make a call on the field after scoring a touchdown. That was nice. That was a nice little cherry on top. We lost 45-7, and our final record was 4-12 that year, and that was the year that Fossil was fired. Number 9 was 2013. We lost 38-0 to the Carolina Panthers. We started 0-6 that year and somehow finished 7-9. I think partially due to a really easy, all of the starting quarterbacks of the opponents we faced in the second half of the season, in the final 9 games or whatever, 10 games were injured. So we were facing backups and third stringers. It was insane. We faced Scott Tolkien, like a dentist, DDS. That was, I thought that at the time I was like, wow, I have never seen a team play this poorly, this badly, especially coming off a playoff year. What should have been a playoff year, 2012. We missed the playoffs, but goddamn, we should have made the playoffs in 2012. Still bothers me that we missed the playoffs. Thank you, Detroit or Chicago. One of those two really bungled it for us. I think it was Detroit. 1966, which is definitely one of the worst seasons in Giants history. We lost to the Los Angeles Rams 55-14. We finished 1-12-1. Hopefully you see a trend here with these final records. 1973, which we mentioned, the 42-0 loss to the Oakland Raiders. We finished 2-11-1. 1948, 45-0 loss to the Eagles of Philadelphia at Philly. We finished 4-8, did not make the playoffs. 1966, yet again, Dallas Cowboys 52-7, finished as we mentioned 1-12-1. 1953 at the Cleveland Browns, we lost 62-14. We finished 3-9. And then in 1943, we lost to the Chicago Bears at home. This is officially the worst home loss, blowout home loss in franchise history. 56-7, we lost. We went 6-3-1, missed the playoffs. And then the worst blowout loss in franchise history was at Pittsburgh against the Steelers, 63-7. We finished 7-5 that year, missed the playoffs. So I guess you can maybe sense where I'm coming with this. We ain't making the playoffs in 2023. Some of the more modern blowouts, 2009 at Minnesota, we lost 44-7. Started 5-0 that year, finished 8-8. 2009, very bitter, especially coming off 2008, where we had the, as I mentioned, went 12-4, home field advantage, and then Plaxico shoots his dick off, and there we are. We mentioned the 1995 blowout loss. We finished 5-11 that season, and somehow we were like, well, it's a fluke. We brought Dan Reeves back for one more year, and we sucked even worse, or not as much, but just as bad the next year. So he was fired after 96. 2017, I mean, that 51-17 loss against the Rams, that's where I think I officially was like, okay, it's time to throw in the towel on this season. We ended up going 3-13 and McAdoo was fired. So for everyone who thinks that Brian Daboll is like a savior or is like the guy, you can win coach of the year and then you can stink up the joint so badly the next year. You can make the playoffs one year and stink it up so badly the next year that you can get canned. It's that easy. So for anyone thinking that Daboll is safe just because he was coach of the year last year, it's NFL stands for not for long. We know that. 2012, 34-0 shutout at Atlanta. That's the year we went 9-7 and just missed the playoffs. It was a game like that really bothers me. There was another game, I think, in 2012 that we lost big time to the Packers. That was really deflating. 98, we lost 37-3 to the Packers. We finished 8-8. 2015, we lost 49-17 to the Vikings. Finished 6-10 and Coughlin was fired. 2015 was one of the most bizarre, heartbreaking, gut-wrenching seasons I've ever experienced as a Giants fan, knowing that we had so many games in our grasp and ended up choking each and every time. And Eli stinks against the Vikings. I mean, it's that simple. The guy just cannot figure out Minnesota. I don't know what is going on. He sees purple and gold and just like he goes dark. 2009, Carolina Panthers, yet again, 41-9. We lost. I think that was to like Matt Moore. I think it was like some backup quarterback, not anyone that special. And any more recent ones? Oh, 99. We lost to the Redskins at home. 50-21. We finished 7-9. That was kind of a funky year in 99 because it was like changing the guard at quarterback with Kerry Collins coming in, and like all of a sudden our pass game was rejuvenated. Like Amani Toomer came out of the woodworks and flourished and was like, oh, we have an offense now. We just, for some reason, our defense just decides like, we've had enough. We're going to quit at the worst possible time. So yeah, a lot of high scoring games in 99. That's it. That's the worst blowout losses in Giants franchise history. There were so of the, I think there's more than 30 here. I want to say there's like 30 blowout losses in franchise history that I have just here by like more than 4 touchdowns. So 29 points or more. Of those, the Giants made the playoffs once in 1963 and lost in the championship. So there you go. There's your 1% of hope. That's your 1%er right there. I'm a 1%er. That's what we gotta hold on to. That 1% of hope is 1963. 60 years ago. So maybe history repeats itself. I think 1963 was one of the last years that we were like, I think that was the last year before we went into the very dark doldrums, the dark era, darkest timeline of the mid 60s to the late 70s until Phil Simms was drafted and Lawrence Taylor, till Phil and LT arrived. There was 17 years, right? 17, 18 years of no playoffs from 1963 on. So that's what we have to hold on to. 1963. But the odds are forever not in our favor. I'll take a quick look at the schedule and give you some updated predictions. It's not going to be pretty. I mean, Arizona almost beat Washington, and the level of hype around Washington has been growing over the past week or so. You know, a lot of people in their season previews and all that bullshit, they were always saying, well, Eagles won, maybe the Cowboys battle, but they'll get the second wild card, and don't count out the Commanders. Hardly anyone was talking about the Giants, despite on paper getting better, just not on the field. So we could, Andrew Thomas doesn't play and is still banged up. I think we could very easily lose at Arizona against the Cardinals. Then we have to go into Thursday Night Football against the 49ers. That's a loss. At home against the Seahawks, I don't know. Seattle's kind of, are they in shambles, or are the Rams really back, quote unquote? I'm going to say that the Rams are semi-back, and the Seahawks just lost their way. So that's a loss. That's a primetime game. So that's hot. So 49ers primetime game, loss. Seahawks primetime game, loss. Dolphins at Miami, loss. At Buffalo, loss. Home against the Commanders, loss. Home against the Jets, loss. At the Las Vegas Raiders, loss. At Dallas, loss. At Washington, lost. Home against the Patriots, that'll be a good one, loss. Home against the Packers, loss. At New Orleans, I think that's going to be close. That's a loss. At Philly, blowout. Home against the Rams, loss. And then home January 7th, 2024. Getting the new year off to a hot start with another blowout loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. So overreacting much? Yeah, sure. 1-16. I'm sorry, 0-17. 0-17. Is that really what I have them as? 0-17? It feels that way. Will they go 0-17? I mean, if they do we get the number one pick? And I don't even know where you begin to, like, where do you go from there? Do you trust Joe Schoen to make the right decision? Like, if Evan Neal continues to have a shitty season, which it looks like it's going to be the way, if Kevin Thibodeau continues to underperform, which he kind of like, where are you, dude? Where are you? Where are you? You have to start to look at Joe Schoen and say, wow, you pulled some magic out of your hat here and there, but overall, like when we take a step back, bird's eye view, forest for the trees, you kind of misfired on a lot. So you can say that Gettleman got us into this mess. You can say that Jerry Reese got us into this mess, which he officially did. For anyone who's keeping tabs and keeping track, Jerry Reese is the one who got us into this mess by not investing in the fucking offensive line. Gettleman doubled down on that and said he's getting him some hog mollies or whatever the fuck you call them. Didn't fix the offensive line. And now Joe Schoen, the third GM in a row, hasn't fixed the offensive line. And until we fix the offensive line, you can expect this, like, horseshit on the field. You can expect this until we fix the offensive line, because we don't have an Eli Manning. We have a Daniel Jones. As much as I love Daniel Jones, he needs some level of protection. Like, even Eli had some level of protection in 2011, enough to at least get the ball off. I don't know, you know? So, yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Reset your expectations. I honestly don't even know what it would take at this point to turn this team around. I don't think, it's just not in them. They don't have the players. They just don't. It was just a lot of hope. There was hope, which is great and all, but it's like, it also doesn't translate to wins. It's like there's hope and belief. And you know what? We could do what the Philadelphia Phillies fan base did with Trey Turner. Trey Turner went off in the World Baseball Classic, hitting ding-dongs left and right, and everyone thought he's a world beater. Starts off the season, first half of the season or more, just slumping, not doing shit at the plate. Philadelphia, that goddamn city, rallied around Trey Turner, and instead of booing him, decided to cheer him. And I don't think it was even sarcastic. I think it was just trying to show support for him, and he turned it around. As Giants fans, are we going to do what we always do and not show up to the stadium and not cheer on the team, continue to boo them? Or do we pull I hate to say it, a Philadelphia move and come and cheer them when they come out as loud as we can. I am a cynical fuck, and I think that we are not going to do that. But what if we did? What a story it would be if we just came out when the next game we have at home, which is October 2nd at night, primetime game. Do we come out knowing that our team is 0-3 and that we got blown out by the 49ers and we lost to the lowly Cardinals? Are we going to come out in full force for the second home game at 0-3 and give a standing ovation to our team? And maybe that'll turn things around because it worked for Philadelphia and it worked for Trey Turner. So maybe we do that. Odds are probably not. Just like odds are we're not making the playoffs. But 1% of me is hanging on for dear life. So my Sundays are open. My Mondays are open. My Thursdays are open. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I now have reset my expectations and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's why I said get him next year. I've kind of written off this year. It's like, all right, well, let's see what we have with the young guys. They'll be fun to watch. The rookies, John Michael Schmidt, Tay Banks, Trey Hawkins, Jalen Hyatt. That'll be fun to watch. And then, we'll go from there. I guess you give Joe Shane and Brian Daboll another shot at it. It really depends on how they finish the season. If we have a 3-13 season, it's all about, did he lose the clubhouse or not? But the fact that you had so much time to prepare, all off season, all the moves you made, all the time, blood, sweat, and tears you put into preparing for a hugely, critically important game, prime time, people in your corner saying you're going to steal one, and you lay the egg that you laid. I don't even know that you can bounce back from that. Again, one game, week 1, I know. Not that. I think if you come out, you lose by a touch, a tud, you can live with that. Say, all right, we're building momentum. We still lost. They still have our number, but we're toe for toe, punch for punch, neck and neck. We're there. We're not even fucking close right now. I thought I'd like to be a coach, but not like a head coach, like a QB coach, position coach, offensive coordinator. Maybe strategery is more my thing, dialing up plays against personnel, studying film. I don't know how you rally a team and motivate a bunch of guys after that kind of performance and say, we still have I don't know. I don't even know what you say or do. To act like business as usual. Isn't that kind of what got McAdoo into trouble? Where he was just like, business as usual. We're going to treat this like we're going to treat blah, 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 blah. We're not going to overblow it. We're not going to overstate it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I think you get all up in people's asses and you start making some fucking moves. Light some fires. Kick the fucking tires, light some fires. Put Evan Neal on notice. Put people like for me, no more music at practices all week. Normally I guess they have fucking rap or music or something playing in the background of the speakers during practice. Zero music the whole week. You're not getting shit. All the stuff that you love and have the privilege to experience, you don't deserve it after that that's the approach I would take. It's not the right approach. I would get fired. I get it. I just don't know what you do, because if it's business as usual, I just don't. And like people going to point to someone like Eli Manning and say, well, look how even keeled he was after a bad loss, after a great win. He was always even keeled, blah, blah, blah. And that's what led to his success. I just don't know that works for everyone. Not everyone's at Eli Manning. So yeah, bask, all you Eagles fans. Can't wait for the comments. It's going to be delicious. Not one fucking Giants fan in my comments on that video defending me or coming to support the team. All Eagles fans laughing their dicks off about how full of confidence I was after getting shellacked in the playoff game, that we were going to come back and be better the next season, that the Eagles and the Cowboys were on the precipice of a downfall. Not one Giants fan, all Eagles fans. And I guess that I'm like the pariah, the black sheep of the Giants fan base. I'll own it. I'll wear that. But, I'm also old enough and have enough rings on my fucking trunk to understand that I've seen this before and it doesn't turn out the right way. So, but again, 1% of me, because you never know. That's all I got. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Absolutely zero people are listening or watching at this point, and I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep doing this till the day I die. Okay, so we're on to Arizona to face the Cardinals team that is literally tanking in rebuild mode so hard, yet somehow almost beat the Commanders, and they are for sure gonna take us to to the whipping post to task for baby. I'll watch, but it's hard to get fired up for something like that. But we'll see. October 2nd, 8:15. We'll see what kind of turnout we get. No more blowouts, no more whiteouts, none of this gimmicky bullshit. I say, could we do it? Could we pull a Philly and go there, scream our balls off each and every play, no matter how bad we're getting beat, and see if it has any kind of influence over the team's performance? I don't know. It'd be a cool little experiment. Because I know in years past, that does not happen. It has not happened as far over the last decade or so. The moment this fan base realizes the team is cooked, we do not show up. It's New York City metropolitan area. We got other shit to do. So, all right, 1%. Talk to you next time. Adios, muchachos.